Stream Elements said the Busy Builder is now live. Streaming art, Figure Friday paint and details.
Hello. How is everybody? Hey, Davos. So, close the Kick account. 2 reasons. 1, wasn't doing much anyway. Nobody was following, except bots. But then they pulled this, oh, you must sign up at our financial services company using digital ID in order to get your payments. I'm like, what? No. No. That's not how this works. No, we don't. So I'd have to scan my driver's license and give it to a company that I don't know. You know, that I have to take their word on if it's a trustable company for payment and data approval. And it's like, no. But the thing is, they made it mandatory. They made it so I had no choice in the matter. So it's like, fine, I'm leaving. Like I said, for me, Kick isn't doing shit anyway. I gave it a shot. It ain't doing shit. No one's signing up. No one's subbing except one person. You know, a few people did, and I appreciate that they did, but I wanted it to replace Twitch, just in case, because Twitch is having a lot of trouble lately. And, yeah, Kick kind of shot itself in the foot with this one, at least with the American audience. And there's others that'll complain about that, but it's like, look, I don't want a gajillion companies getting my information because I have to verify myself every time I click a button. This is getting ridiculous. It's yet another avenue of attack if somebody got a little feisty and wanted to steal information about people, too. I don't care how secure you say your servers are. Exactly. It's extortion. It really is. The way they did that, that is extortion. No, what it is they don't want PayPal and other businesses making money off of it. They want their exclusive money managing company to process all the finances, so they get their cuts all internally. That's what it is. It's not like, oh, we just need you to visually verify your ID just so you can, continue to use our services. No, I had to use it on their specific handling system. It's basically forcing people to use their system. That's all it is. I forget what it's called already. I already left. I logged out and I'm like, yeah, fuck this shit. I'm out. What was it called? Give me a sec. I already forget what it was called. But yeah, they want you to use their very specific money laundering system. So, nope. And I'd understand, like, if it was, okay, you have to verify with us to continue to use our service, kind of like YouTube's been doing. To a degree, I can see that. Just to make sure somebody's not misusing your identity for another account. That makes more sense. But when they made it so, okay, you won't get paid unless you use our specific thing, nah, that's extortion. And yeah, I don't buy that. So, no more kick. Hey Alex, how you doing? We're gonna be strictly YouTube and Twitch until Congress shuts down Twitch for allowing terrorists to stream on it. So, we'll see. So, Alex, you know how you like that figure that's inspired by, Great, my brain just farted. Heavy metal, Julie Strain? Somebody just did that character. Give me a sec. We'll get there in a sec. Oh, where'd she go? Gotta search. I'll get there. I've got to take the long way around it, but we'll get there. I'll send you a link, or I'll put a link up in chat. He may not have put it up yet, too. He may just have just announced it. Yeah, he just announced it. It's not out yet. But yeah, he did the Julie Strange character from Heavy Metal 2000. Yeah, the character's going for kind of a tactical operator look with the blue jeans and the combat shirt and everything else being multicam. So, good news on the Humvee front. I was able to put a month's worth of savings into savings at one time yesterday, so about $150 ahead now. Still very, very low in the numbers and early in the beginning stages, though. Hey, model student, how you doing? So we're slowly getting there, and depending on what price point that I want to start looking around at more seriously, we're a quarter of the way there, or 25 or 20% of the way there, depending on how you look at it. Because the earliest I could really start looking is when I've got about 8 grand saved up. 10 grand would be the best opportunity. So we're getting there. Slow climb, but we're getting there. Unless a miracle shows up locally on Facebook Marketplace. Other news. Tires have been ordered for the Bushmaster Humvee. And I ordered an engine set from Checkmaster. I'm going to put that in the Stinger Humvee, as I'm putting so much effort into the interior on it. I may as well just keep going, open up the hood, and detail the hell out of it. Even if I don't use the Stinger thing, it'll give me a chance to do something different. I'm waiting for the third installment on the Bushmaster series. That's what I want to see. So the Stinger is back on a wait list as far as finishing, but I think it'll be a better product because of it. No, but I'm still, you know, kind of ticked at kick for basically strong-arming people and making them use their money service, or else they won't get paid. So no more kick. I'm sure other people will just bend over and take it. I wish them well, but no. And I was about to start doing it too, to just get it over with, but then I thought about it, I'm like, no, this isn't right. This is extortion. Something doesn't feel right. It made something in my stomach go sideways. Yeah, they made it so you won't get your payouts from subs or anything. Unless you sign up to their service, their exclusive handling service, their whatever you want to call it, like their version of PayPal, I guess. The money wouldn't be transferred, even though there's already a system in place that does it as is, automatically. But you have to use your ID verification to do it, you know? And it's like, no. Something's really not right about that. Something is really... To me, something doesn't feel right at all about that. And I'll die on that hill. It's like saying you have to prove who you are to use this gas station. Okay. So that's just for shadows. We're going for a denim look here. I figured I'd start with that. Get my head wrapped around that until I can get it wrapped around doing camouflage of 2 different types. Because we got some kind of green Japanese self-defense force style camouflage and a tan multicam style. So yeah, if you got a Kick account and you've got monetized, go and look now if you haven't set up your digital ID or you haven't done the ID verification. You'll see what I mean. And it wasn't like one of those things where like YouTube or with their stuff. Yeah, it's not like YouTube in the UK or anything, you know, just proving who you are on your Google account. That I can kind of see. That's still a bit far-reaching, especially here. But making it so you have to sign up to their specific thing in order to do it. It's like not only do you have to verify who you are, you have to sign up at our thing while verifying who you are in order to use it. No. Kick, that's for you. And I hope more people follow suit. Because it's not like you're just checking a box in a computer by verifying who you are via your ID and a matching picture to you know, match up with it. They're saving that information, you know? It'd be different if it's like, okay, verified, information has now been expunged, box in the computer is tagged. Done. I'll shut up about it soon. It's just not what I was expecting to see when I went to go do my streaming today. Well, that's just it. They would be direct wiring stuff to my bank account, like they already have been. Like, say you go on Kick and you sub every 30 days, no matter how much money I make. Like, Twitch, you have to make at least $50 for it to pay out. Kick, if I have one sub and that subs every month, I get that $9 every month, or $5 every month, whatever it is. Yeah, $5. Regardless of the amount, Kick just pays out. Twitch, you have to reach a certain amount, which I can kind of buy that too. I've been doing that for years. But it's the fact that they're forcing us to use their own thing. It really does not sit right with me at all. It's not so much the verification. It's the signing up for another thing, you know. Hey Jesus, how you doing? I'm trying to do great, just ticked at the state of the world. But that's really what it is. It's not so much about the verification, it's the fact that I had to... Yeah, I had... that I'd have to use their service. You know, another company would have my information. No, I don't want that. I'm tired of that. Well, I hope you enjoy it. Don't be afraid to mess up. Anything can be repainted. And it's not like Kick was really growing anyway. I know a few of you from Twitch and YouTube signed up there and created accounts and followed. But a majority of the things there were just follow bots for Discord anyway, and I was disappointed in it to begin with, but then that happened. I'm like, haha, fuck you. I don't know, that's just it. I wouldn't be getting bills, but it's the fact that I'd have to do it to even get the money that I've earned on the channel through either ads or subscriptions or anything like bits. Like on Twitch, all your sub monies, all of your bit monies, and all that, it would be like if Twitch said I had to sign up at their bank, like whatever bank they go through, in order to get the revenue I'd earned on Twitch. But in order to do that, I need to do that whole ID verification process. No, that's really not how all this works. Then I can choose not to use the service, and in this case, since Kick's small, I'll choose not to use the service. If Twitch goes into that, we'll have to have another thought process and discussion on that. You know? I hope they don't, and I hope YouTube doesn't. As far as I know, YouTube's just using ID verification just to make sure you are who you are, but that's not rolled out here in the US yet. trying to get this blue to really start sticking a bit more. I need more paint on the brush, I think. It doesn't look as stark as it does in the picture on screen. Okay, this might be better. And it's not so much I'm worried about bills, I just don't want my information in yet another company that could hand off my information to, you know, the people that want to call and ask about my car's extended warranty. You know, stuff like that. Sorry for being so ranty, I really just was not expecting that today. Ow, 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 ow.
At Leo 207 deep case at companies merging to gain a better grip. Okay. But when they do, they
Yeah.
like we talked about anatomy. If you don't use the grip.
I saw a funny video on YouTube. Somebody was using, you may have seen it show up on your feed. It's either YouTube or Bookface. Somebody who's using that AK asphalt stuff to make an asphalt road that was all cracked to make it look like an old part of Route 66. In the end, they may as well not have used the asphalt material to even begin with, because they covered and modified it with so much other shit. Meanwhile, there's the usual sycophants in the comments. Oh, so wonderful, so great, AK material, so perfect. And there's this one guy, he's like, why did he bother using that expensive asphalt material on the corkboard when he could have just done this and that and saved some money and time? And I had to comment, I'm like, yes, thank you. Yeah, it's, I don't know, it almost feels like that stuff makes you think longer directions in model building. Where are my pliers? No worries. Thank you. I need my pliers. I can't find my pliers. I may have put them back. I did. I'm gonna mix a bit of this, well, whatever this fucking color is from Polyester. It's a light blue-gray. Gonna mix a little of that in with the base color and start plopping highlights in, especially on the upper thighs, knees, and the upper butt. You know, places you'd typically find, like, fading and stuff on jeans. I want to go a little bit deeper with this color, though, in some spots. I'm just looking at it on the camera, and it's kind of showing me where the overspray Still looks a bit strong. So are there any other streaming services I could use that, you know, I could put into here? Let me see here. Let me go down the list of others that are out there and see what you guys think. I really don't want TikTok, but there's Trovo, DLive, and Loco, whatever that is. Everybody's like, oh, you should be on TikTok. No. And these are who's available through the Caster Labs app. Alright, that's looking better. Is that beginning to look more like worn blue jeans? And it doesn't look as pale in person. Let's see if I can open this. I think I had it open a couple weeks ago. Aha! Hehehe. We'll probably switch out to a smaller brush here soon, too. And get a bit more selective. But with that, we're just going to go with the straight base color. Mm-hmm. Like, if I was to do an asphalt road, right? If I wanted to make it look broken up, So if your asphalt road's going to look broken up, use corkboard. Get a thin piece of corkboard. Chinchilla sand. Big bottles are really cheap. Last you forever. Because you really don't use it as much as you think. I used to have a chinchilla, so I've got leftovers. Glue said chinchilla sand to the corkboard. Break corkboard apart. Or, no, paint it black, or break it apart, then paint it black. Whatever step in the process you want to take. Well, no, don't paint it black. Paint it charcoal gray, or even just dark gray. The sand will give it the texture of old asphalt, where the tar and everything has been kind of worn out of it. And it's just the gravel barely sticking together. The aggregate. And then weather and season to taste from there. But no, this guy's laying down what looks like a freshly paved road on the corkboard, cutting it apart, but in the end he's put so many other layers of color and paint and effects over it, the initial reasoning for having the asphalt texture paste was eliminated. Give me a sec. I gotta find this and show you, just so you guys can see. Yeah, you won't get broken up if you messed up, and you won't be wasting too much money on two little projects. So give me 1 second. I've got to share the link here. It'll be a Facebook Reels link, but it's... Watch it and you'll see what I mean about how... Like, it's one thing if you're doing a street and you want to replicate a fresh patch in the street. Then yeah, use that stuff because it looks like brand new asphalt. But if you're going for the old road look, that's the wrong place to start. I hate to say it, it is the wrong material to start with. Alright, so smaller, scrubbier brush. If I had need to make a asphalt road like that, I'd give my own little tutorial on it. But right now I don't. There we go. Now we're starting to get that denim look. It's been a few years since I've done this process, and we'll probably cut in with some whiter colors too, on like the pocket edges, back here, some of the other areas, just for some really, really crisp, sharp highlights. Oh, it'll look really nice with a field gray belt cutting across there too for the hip, for the holster. I've seen people do that on missing links. It is disgusting, it is horrifying, and it makes me hurt every time I see it. Oh, I'm gonna put all of this anti-skid texture panels all over this tank. And then I'm gonna take all the time I invested in that and make it worthless because I'm covering it over with Barracuda net. And you just want to say to them, give me the model. It's not safe in your hands anymore. Give it to me. And it's not just model building, I kind of see it everywhere, even where I work. It feels like there's something that's gone on in society lately that makes people overthink what they have to do something. Like, they put more effort than is really required for the task. I blame Common Core math. Is that beginning to look like worn out, faded blue jeans to you guys? I need white. Vice. There you are. A bit of this color. A little more of this color. There we go. You know, it almost seems like you need to take yourself a trip to Amsterdam and buy yourself something nice. There ain't enough water in the oceans for your thirst. Thank you. My parents worked very hard at that. Maybe I should have retitled the stream Replicating Sydney Sweeney's Ass. Now, if you want to know who this is, it's a character from an anime series called Gate, where a portal opens to a fantasy realm in Japan, and the Japanese ground self-defense force goes through. And all kinds of hilarity ensue. You don't see the character dressed like this in the series, but she's like the real gung-ho one that beats the shit out of everybody at some point. Yeah, I think that's enough. We can start painting other things now. And for some reason, I can tell you really were not expecting that response, Aries. Oh, I gotta paint her shoes. Same blue-gray color. See, sometimes I can still take you by surprise. Nobody expects the builder sense of humor. What color is her belt? I can lay in the base color for that. Okay, it's going to be multicam. And we're looking at field gray for the leg band. Okay. So... watch the clip and you'll see what I mean about how it does if you're looking to make like an actual freshly paved clean road. It looks exactly like brand new asphalt. But with what that person did with it, there's quicker, easier, more effective ways of laying down your base than what they did. And then if you want to, like, say you make a road and you want to make that road look like it's been dug up and patched, then yeah, that asphalt stuff's perfect for a fresh patch. But for how they used it, there's a lot simpler means they could have started with to replicate the road base and gone from there. So what color do I want to base my multicam in? Get a few of my tans together and see which one jumps out. I'm gonna go with wooden deck tan. It's the least yellow. Yeah, it's not so much the material itself, but it's the end result. It no longer looks like what it's supposed to. It's like, great, you've got brand new asphalt here, but you're not going for brand new asphalt.
Said it's still sealed from about 2 years ago.
You might want to see if it's still viable. And I'll say it again, every time someone's suggested an AK product to me, I've tried them in the past, and I've found them to be very unintuitive. Like, you have to take so many steps out of the way. Yeah, and that's the other thing, Davos. It's like one of those things that you see it and you're like, ooh, I could buy that. I have so many uses for it. It's so cool. I can think of a million things right now I could do with it. But then when you get it, you don't wind up doing them. It's like, what was I going to do with this crap again? I forget. Yep. I mainly do bases to give context to weathering, if there's a lot of it. Or if I want to put a figure with the model that's standing separately, just to give a better sense of scale. Generally, I don't do a lot of bases. Again, the issue with the markers, though, is that tip wears out quickly. There's not as much paint as you think in them. I remember back in the day, this is, yeah, back in the late 80s, testers had paint markers. And everyone had the same reaction, and then they just disappeared. Testers had glue pens. They had glue markers with their actual, like, liquid cement in it. And, yeah.
Was disappointed by the lack of Humvee in that diorama though.
Which diorama? Sorry. Oh, and the one he made on the Route 66? Well, here's the thing. When I get mine, I will be going on Route 66 with it. Ah. Hands are hurting. Oh, my knuckles get hairier, or am I just not noticing it until now? Anyway. Random model thoughts. You know one kit I would love to get my hands on again, just for nostalgia's sake? The Monogram 12 scale 67 Vet 427. I remember back in the 80s, that was just a $20 model. And you could pick them up at Walmart. So all these details were printed in place. I was half tempted to do this figure at 200% size too. But I decided, nah, I got enough big scale figures I haven't finished. Oh, I built the hell out of those kits. But I'd like to do one now with the skill set I have. Just to see how much differently it'll turn out. Last time I built one was 1998. That's the last time I remember it being available on shelves, too. But I've seen what those kits are also going for on eBay right now. I am not about to get one. I got better things to spend my money on. And better things to save it for, too. But before this grand scheme of saving for the Humvee came about, I did get the 16th scale Firebird GTA. You know, that I was tempted to grab one of those recently too. think I found the Academy one for 35 bucks on Amazon. Again, I've got enough shit. I'm only doing the Humvee thing because it's kind of an in-joke with you guys. And it kind of is like a history lesson for those wanting to contribute too. They can see the different types, how they all kind of relate together, how easy it would be for me to get one type and make it into another. I keep having to go back to pictures to make sure that I'm painting the right things the right way. Okay. And behind that part. There. There's a piece that gets glued right here. So the Checkmaster resin set for the engine said it was made for the Tamiya or Academy kit. You will build them one day, or the next generation of your kin shall inherit them. I already told my father, you know, he's got like 4 of those massive Heller tall sailing ships, as well as a couple of the Revell ones, like the Constitution, the Kearsarge, and the Cutty Sark. I told him if he passes, I'm not keeping them. I'm selling them. I have no place for them. I have no interest in building them. He's like, that's all right. I know you'll know how to get top dollar for them. I'm like, yeah, but yeah, I'm not keeping the tall ships. Unless something changes and I suddenly get an interest in Napoleonic era shipping, yeah, I'm not. And he's got the old Victory, the big version. I think that thing goes for like 900 bucks now. What scale is it? He's got the 96 scale Revell one. Okay. Anything else that's going to be Multicam needs to get that color. So, plate carrier front and back. And I think the radio casing is too. Yes, it is. Where are we on this? Yeah, we're at the halfway point. This one repeats, so I'm only playing half of it. But that also means we are due for a move break, which I am definitely feeling the urge for one today.
Student 20 asks, it's 1 to 130 you built the 135 Snail Roads as well. Did you do a series on that?
I have not built it, I just have it. My father gave it to me, I haven't started working it yet. And given its size, I probably won't even touch it till I move. It's going to be a while on that. Because I also want to possibly... Wow. I hit puberty again. Would you like fries with that? No. I want to possibly make it radio control. I would have to undo some of my father's work on it as he already started. Namely, getting the propeller shafts in properly. Since he already attached the shaft housings to the model, I'd have to find a way to get them off. Maybe stick the hull in the deep freeze that I've got out in the garage. Freeze it, make the glue joints brittle. See if I can pop them that way. That way I can drill the proper holes and run propeller shafts through it. But it's big enough. I want to make it RC. And then just put like that return technology. Once the battery gets to X amount of percentage, it automatically returns to the control unit. You know, that kind of stuff. It's too big to not do it. That, and it's got the brass propellers on it too.
Student 20 said, I think I will try mine this year. My bike I bought it from has another one with all the motors and prox controller, etc.
So you know what I'm talking about. It wouldn't be that hard, and there's actually kits out there to do it. I think people have made 3D print files for motor housings for it. Like, there's a small community around making that thing RC.
Bugging me to buy it as well.
I think Kevin Wheatcroft in the UK is restoring the last known existing Schnellboot in the world. Okay, how can I... That'll work well enough.
At B-Model Student 20 said he says Terry's nothing like running mirror boot around the water. Grinning face with sweat emoji.
Well, up in Washington State, there's a lot more RC clubs, too. Like, there's actually a couple active RC tank groups in and around where I'm going to be moving to. So there's just more potential for connecting with people within that community and getting better advice for, like, the boat itself, people who've done it before, have suggestions, that kind of thing. And again, same thing with the RC tank stuff. Better connection with people up there doing it than there is here. Here it's fucking rock crawling, and that's annoying as hell to me. And with the Schnellboot, there's a lot of small lakes and ponds up in the area where I'll be moving to, where I'll be able to run it, whereas there's not here. At least none that are safe and easily accessible. The nearest public one I can think of that's not attached to a golf course is down a big slope of gravel and dirt, and is not easy to get to. Okay, is there anything else on her that needs to be this color? Hands. Pistol's going to be field gray. Helmet's already field gray. I just want to make sure I had the right color for that. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to pause, take a runaround break. See if my arthritis gets worse. And I will be back in a moment. Alright, we're back. And I want my field gray. I forget where I put it in this whole stack of paints, though. Found it. Since I need to paint that field gray, got these already. Gonna do that flesh and then work the details out of it. Her chin straps field gray. The earpieces are slightly lighter, more of a khaki, but we'll just go with this. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. Gloves. Okay. So yeah, if you've been subbing at Kick, please disconnect that. Don't bother with that anymore. And like I was saying before you got in, Aries, it's not so much the digital ID thing, it's the you have to use our exclusive account services now. No. Okay.
Studios said, well, Stripe isn't exclusive. PayPal uses it too.
But it's the fact that I had to use Stripe through them, and I couldn't just link... I'm already using PayPal then. What the fuck's the deal? Why do they need my ID? That's what I'm getting at. They're extorting me to use their thing, and I don't like that. It just... something doesn't feel right about it to me. Call me paranoid if you want, but I... Maybe it's just the idea behind it. I don't know. It just feels very extortionate. PayPal's not asking me for my ID. Let me be old man afraid of change about it. Or explain the necessity of it to me in a way that a third grader would understand, because I'm having trouble putting two and two together here. But it's not like many people are using that side of things anyway. No, she's actually very what's the word I'm looking for? Tastefully done. She's not huge boobs, she's not extremely skinny waist, she's rather realistically done, which is odd to say the least about an anime figure, but it is what it is. I just found it odd that, you know, there's a system in place already for transferring the funds to my bank account when I get them, and yet they decide to pull this shit, and it's like, that's why it doesn't rub me the right way. It just has a very "you'll be forced to comply and you will like it" feel about it. I thought I got all the nubs off of it, but I didn't. That is a very nicely done rifle. Maybe we'll save painting that for last. I'm being really stupid here right now. Just need a slight highlight on this. I don't think I'm going to go too crazy on the combat shirt with the wrinkles and shadows and stuff, because most of it's going to be covered up by the plate carrier. I basically just want to hit up anything that might show from the sides.
At Leo2A7DK said same here. My bank is merging with 2 other banks. Let's see how that goes. If at one time you can only talk to a screen in the wall. 09 Davos said hey Aris. 09 Davos said and Leo.
Yeah, it looks like Aries is in the Twitch side and Leo is in the YouTube side. So. But that's why I'm giving a little extra contrast to some of the highlights, is because of how you might be able to see them, so I want them to pop if you can. Let's see here. So the plate carrier is going to go on like that. Maybe I went too high on the highlight there. So we can knock that back down just a hair. I think that works better. Now we'll lay down some zinc chromate on the camouflage portion of the combat shirt as the base layer for the camouflage. As for the next stream day, there might be something Sunday, but it probably won't be until much later in the day, as I've got some stuff to take care of during the course of the day. Watch, my paranoia proves right. In a few months, Kick gets slammed for data mining their users. Even Markiplier was right about Honey, and everybody said he was wrong. Something's just not right about that shit to me. Okay. I probably shouldn't have glued the chin strap on already. Especially considering it just snapped a little bit. But I felt like I needed to for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why I do half the stuff I do lately. Jesus. Well, at least it wasn't purple popping and going everywhere. That's an older bottle anyway. I've got like 5 different bottles of flesh tones. Not worried if I am a little wasteful with it. And I know I'm being sloppy as all hell right now. Oh, and if there are any 3D artists who do stumble upon my channel, and you do, well, figures of any type really, stop doing this with the eyes. Stop sculpting the detail into the eyes.
Wow, had not heard that up front.
Yeah, stop sculpting the eye details in. It actually makes it harder. At least for me it does.
Challenging build I will have attempted to date next, the Academy 135MH60S Tridents. Now I'm thinking the Viper might be a better one to start off with fleshed face emoji. At the Model Student 20 said not sure.
Start with whatever one catches your interest and gets your energy going the most. Or else you'll be starting a model and putting it back in the box and not coming back to it for a while. Ask me how I know that pattern happens. And you need to stop doing that all the time, Aris. I would like to see you finish a model, Aris. Need to finish Event Horizon before you do anything else now.
At the Model Student 20 said the print turned out really good.
It had its problems. I had to reprint a couple parts a few times just because of failure points I noticed. But overall, this one's pretty acceptable.
At B model student 20 said go Aries go.
Yeah, he, against all better judgment and advisement, started a 4-foot-long model of the event horizon.
RS_studios said yay, the wings are fucked, might be able to fix.
How so? Just malformed, warped, bad print? That was weird.
RS_studios said I'll show you later. At B model student 20 said that's it pretty big.
Well, I'm printing the same one, but I'm printing it at 100% scale, not 200%. But I'm trying to use it as a motivator to get him going. Kind of like, I'm right behind you. Hey, it's Halloween night. Not if you think about it. I mean, we're talking about sci-fi ships here. Okay, that part can be black. Alrighty. I'll show you. Once you see how big the parts actually are, it's more of an overall volume, not mass thing. Like you hear of a 3-foot model of the Starship Enterprise.
Said you know me, I'll probably not finish it. At Leo 2A7DK said that buys a sick craft and a sick movie. Love it.
Well, you will finish it, Aries. I just hate seeing you put so much resin into it and then poof.
At B model student 20 said it's smaller than the Snell.
The Snell? Snell. Do you mean... No, not the... The hell is this? Oh, Schnowboot, yeah. No, but see, like a 3-foot model of the Enterprise, that's got a lot of mass because it's got a lot of broad shapes. The Event Horizon is actually still pretty small, even at that size. So we're just evening out the coat here a little bit. Felt it went on unevenly. Like, I've only got the front portion printed right now. Just give me a sec.
At B model student 20 said sneak peek cool.
The thing is, you got to remember the Event Horizon itself is actually really long, really skinny, and most of the size is in the ass. But that's just the front end, the command section. They say it's made to be lit. It's not.
Said, what is this?
The front command section of the Event Horizon.
Said it's like a grasshopper or something.
Oh, that's right. A lot of you guys probably haven't seen that film yet. Oh, God. Geek card, please. It's a movie from 1997 with Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne in it. So Dr. Grant and Morpheus find a ship on Neptune, or is it Uranus? It's one or the other. It's way out there. And it got taken to hell. It turns out that Sam Neill was the designer and also got taken to hell. Yep. It's also got Sean Pertwee and some other well-known English actors and New Zealand actors in it. That or humanity's first contact with chaos. Well, that's what the movie doesn't explain very clearly. You think it's one long central tunnel. It's actually 6 surrounding it. I saw it in theaters, so that was a trip. Trying to find a broad patch of this camouflage that I can kind of mimic. Okay, so NATO green, dark yellow. Oh, when I went, it was packed. Is there brown in there? I went opening night, though. Yeah, it's a dark brown. We'll go with that one. Okay. No, I didn't. Or do you mean the S-E-A-N? The Irish spelling. Where am I? Let me see what Instagram says. Oh yeah, it's got my name right. I thought it got it wrong or something. Jeez, don't scare me like that. Gotcha. Tiny brush. What was Samuel L. Jackson's? It was not a speaking role, and it was a blink and miss it cameo from a early 80s comedy starring John Belushi. He was in Animal House, in the frat house scenes at the party at the beginning, on the couch. dressed up as an Arab or Muslim character. It was one of his first. It was one of his earlier ones. Was it a speaking role, or was it the same kind of, you know, background extra kind of thing? Or was it that Animal House was uncredited? I forget which. Was Animal House 80s or was it 70s as well? It's another one of those movies like A Christmas Story that's kind of timeless where it sits.
At B model student 20 said 78, I think.
I don't know if I'm doing this camo any justice. I'm just trying to mimic it. This one's a lot of greens. Now, if I remember right, wasn't the director of Event Horizon also the guy who directed, it was Paul Anderson, wasn't? Resident Evil, Mortal Kombat, Alien vs. Predator. If I remember right, it was Paul Anderson. I could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things. See, Paul Anderson was a busy fucker back in the late 90s, mid to late 90s to early 2000s, wasn't he? Didn't he do Soldier as well? So if he did Soldier, that means he went from doing Mortal Kombat to Soldier to Event Horizon. Do what? And then after Event Horizon, he kind of, I don't want to say he took a break, but I think that's when he was developing and filming the first Resident Evil. And then he moved into doing Alien vs. Predator while doing that. Did he do Soldier with Kurt Russell? I forget. I could have sworn he did. Okay. So yeah, he was busy in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, he was never not working. What's really sad is we enjoyed the movies like Soldier a lot more than we did the Resident Evil ones. Yet Soldier's the one that never got the sequel. Then again, it was a prequel to Blade Runner. Technically. That ain't fucking dark yellow. But that is probably the lighter sand color I do need for the... No. Okay. That's dark yellow. I just can't wait till the sequel to Rogue One comes out. I heard it's about a farm boy, though, and he blows up the Death Star. Oh, wait.
Studios said doesn't he kiss his sister or something?
Something like that. And the effects aren't as good either. You can kind of see the matte lines and stuff. Well, you see, that's where the problem really comes in with what Disney's doing. Right? So say Lucas was in charge of that idea. He would have at least ensured that Andor and what's-her-name survived. Because knowing that we already had Jedi out there, you know, Return of the Jedi, and that there was another spy mission to get the plans for that, they could have easily had a second film and maybe killed everybody off there. But they could have had a second film about that mission. But instead they decided to kill everybody off. Her name doesn't matter. She's dead now. They didn't make a prequel series out of her. They don't. It doesn't matter. And does anybody else think that Diego Luna got more character development in Elysium than he did in Rogue One? Well, that does play into sci-fi rules and Marvel rules. No body, no death. What do you mean, Davos? I've never made any money off of it. It's just another way to get interest out there, you know? people to see what you're working on. I've never really done an analysis to see if it's gotten me anything extra or not. Oof. Mountain Dew's coming back up on me. The sequel trilogy is so bad, it makes the prequel trilogy look like fucking Shaft.
Davos said I've never had it or had an account, but would need an account to see people's stuff.
You shouldn't need an account to see people's stuff. You would need it to comment. There's some profiles that are still... Yeah, Star Wars. There's some profiles that are still private.
Looking good already. Do the do.
It's looking mostly like what's on there. I think my green's not green enough. Like, my base green is. But the deep green isn't green enough.
Davos said the prequels were decent films, I think.
I do too. Like, I can see why it's fun to shit on them. Don't get me wrong. They are a product of their time. Just like the original trilogy is. So I can see why it's fun to shit on them, but at the same time,
Those were just a piss take 'em out.
the prequel series told a coherent narrative to the best of its ability using the technology at the time.
Student 20 said shirts fade.
You know? So... But there was a coherent continuing through story through all three of them.
Said check out my YouTube page at.
And to me, that matters more than anything else.
Said matches her jeans.
I wasn't talking about this part, I was talking about up here. I'll figure out what to do there to get the shadows and highlights to pop.
Davos said Leia being sucked into space and then just I am a Force user now too.
Well, technically she was always one, but yeah, you're not wrong. And they fucked up in the grandest way ever. They never once had anyone write out a scene where Han, Leia, Chewie, Luke, and Lando were ever together one last time.
The Lego game version where she just grabbed the fishing rod out of the debris and used that to get back to the ship. At the model student 20 said space witch. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
But at no time in at least the first two of the sequels, because after the second one, that's where it really lost itself. You can almost forgive Episode 7 for what it did, and as far as the haste in getting it made. But at no time in the first two films did they ever try and have the four main cast members together, ever. And now it's too late, you can't do it. And Mandalorian kind of falls into that trap as well, which is why I really can't abide Disney Star Wars, period. So you're telling me in Mandalorian Season 2, when Luke comes to get Grogu, I haven't seen it, but I've seen the part where that happens, right? You're telling me Bo-Katan, who has dealt with Anakin Skywalker, and Boba Fett, who also dealt with Anakin Skywalker, didn't look and go, there's a Jedi that just walked into our ship, and his last name is Skywalker. What the fuck? That never crossed anyone's minds, like, at all. Do you see the stupidity inherent in Disney's choices now? I mean, you can forgive Anxiety Groper's character for not understanding it because he wasn't alive when that happened. Are you talking about Ben Skywalker? Or Ben Solo, who should have been Ben Skywalker because Mara Jade and Luke in the books had Ben? Well, not only that, but you've got Luke, who tried to forgive his genocidal father, who took part in the destruction of Alderaan and villages of Sand People. Yet he wanted to kill his nephew over a dream? Right. But that's also part of J.J. Abrams' directing style. He doesn't want you to stop and think about what's going on. And this is just inherently for episodes 7 and 9. He doesn't want you to stand still long enough to realize that you're being bullshit along all the time. The color palette for this combat shirt almost feels like the British woodland style from the late 90s, early 2000s. Forget what that was called. I think that's good enough, though. No, it's not even that. That didn't start up until that round-headed guy directed the 8th one. That wasn't a real issue until then. And then it became basically a thing in every fucking film after that. Okay, more music. Oh, we're getting close to another break anyway. No, I think Disney fell into the Jurassic Park trap. Once they found out they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. Or even if they came to the realization that they should, they didn't stop to think about the best way of going about it.
At the model student 20 said sorry.
Sorry for what? You're not inherently wrong, but just it really wasn't a bigger issue until the 8th one, the Rian Johnson film. Which really makes you wonder how much of his idea was Looper, you know? Was it his idea, or was he being directed by somebody on what exactly they wanted to happen in Looper?
At the model student 20 said skipped a
Hmm?
comment.
Oh, okay.
At the model student 20 said I said Jar Jar Abrams was a TWT grimace in the first emoji.
Oh, did that get held? I didn't pay attention. Oh, yeah. If it got held, it didn't show. That's okay.
At the model student 20 said I don't know.
I never got an alert saying it was held by any of the auto mods.
At Model Student 20 said no biggie, I was just Joshin' anywho.
Nothing you said was false, though. Why do you think J.J. Abrams hasn't really had much out there that we know of? Not that I've heard of, anyway. Since Episode 9 came out, what's the last thing you heard him directing or producing? I'm sure he's working on stuff, but they're not touting it very loudly. Not like they used to after Lost.
Model Student 20 said he's done, I think.
I think people are just done with his haphazard style. The way he does stuff doesn't give you a lot of time to stop and breathe. In terms of, like, enjoying the film. No, that should have been called Mystery Boxes. That should have just been called Mystery Box Within a Box. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna try something here. Actually, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna try something here. But yeah, you guys aren't wrong. That is starting to look pretty decent together. I think there was an adult film named that. Yeah, that's what we're looking at so far. These will be more of the desert multicam color, like the OCP that people are wearing now. But yeah, let me pause, move around a bit. I'll be right back. Did my text-to-speech just use the Canadian pronunciation of decals? It said decal. Only Canadians say decal. My text-to-speech is Canadian?
Model Student 20 said rolling on the floor laughing emoji. Model Student 20 said I say the equal grinning face with sweat emoji.
Are you sure you say decal? I could have sworn I heard you say decal in a couple streams. Or a couple videos. I could be wrong, though. I'm always wrong. I tried picking up Mittens a little bit to see if I could get him to come down here. He wasn't having any of it. So I'm just using... See, she said decal that time. So just spell decal and decals. Because before she said it with the U, like decal. So I'm just using the dark gray Vallejo wash in and around some of the larger details and folds, just to see if I can pop some more texture.
I put 4 E's in decal. At Leo2A7DK said Dracula.
No, not Dracula. Or not Dracul. You guys are doing my head in. I've had a hard enough day today. It's fucking Halloween. I gotta turn off my porch light tonight. Trunk or treats kind of killed Halloween in this area anyway. We don't have as many kids going around doing it anymore. See? See? It just did it. It just said deckled for the last one. It said decal correctly. Trunk or treat. They're basically Halloween events that happen earlier. People will go and park in like library parking lots with their cars. And they'll give out candy that way, so you'll just have like a lot of cars lined up with their trunks open. So it's like a car show and a Halloween thing is how it really started out. But now it's taken off because parents feel it's safer. You're not having your kids walk up to strangers' houses and all this other stuff. Well, if you want to go that route with it, you can, yeah, but... But essentially, they've taken over since it's more convenient just to go to one place instead of going all around your neighborhood and actually, you know, interacting with your neighbors and meeting your neighbors and stuff like that. And, I don't know, playing with your friends as a kid. But it's all for the children!
At Georgia Davis 7629 said that's a neat idea, to be fair.
It is. It means I don't get bothered at night now on Halloween. Because tonight's Halloween night. Doesn't even fucking feel like it.
At Georgia Davis 7629
Yeah, because that was part of the fun, was running around the neighborhood in the dark. That was the appeal of it when I was a kid. You got to run around your neighborhood in the dark, dressed up. Nobody could identify you. You know, not that you're out to cause mischief, but you had that feeling.
Old school Halloween was awesome. Side note, Frankenstein was okay, watched it last night. Bit of a monster sob story, but so was the book.
Yeah, in the book, the doctor was more of a monster than the monster was. Didn't TNT do an adaptation years and years ago? Was it De Niro that played Frankenstein with makeup on? Something like that? Or Frankenstein looked like De Niro with makeup on?
At the model student 20 said everybody was rolling on the floor laughing and emerging.
Either that or a power... Everybody was either that or Power Ranger or E.T. Regardless, though, it was fun back then. Not so much anymore.
At Neo 2, a 7DK said after COVID, they didn't see their friends. Stupid. Kids can't do anything for themselves anymore. And we hate they are so self-centered. Our own fault. Wake up.
Well, I think that's beginning to get reversed. It'll take time. Because it's funny how a lot of the younger generation now is showing an interest in analog devices.
Said it's the largest adult holiday now.
You know, they're showing interest in cassette tapes again. And videotapes. And not just for the nostalgia purposes of it, but they're actually interested in something tangible, you know? A lot of the teenagers are really coming around to having a physical, tactile device of some sort again. And that's why fidget toys were so big for a while. They were something that gave you response. And I think we're seeing the next level of that come now. And I even said something about that a while back. I'm like, watch, this stuff will come back because people want a tactile, touchable thing again. They're tired of just pushing a button and going. They want the feedback. They want the ownership. They want to be able to look at the thing on their shelf. They want the clicks and the sounds, you know? And I know I said something about that a while back. Mm-hmm.
At the model student 20 said 20-somethings are fascinated with my turntable.
So now if we could just get model building marketed to that kind of mentality, we could bring this hobby back from the dead again and make it cheaper because there's more people into it.
At the model student 20 said Bandai are helping.
Bandai are helping, yes. Hobby Lobby's carrying their kits, so the exposure is getting out there. But there's one big problem with Bandai. Teenagers still don't want to put that much money into it.
Model student 20 said no glue, no paint, funky topics.
Expensive prices. And you know I'm right. That's the one thing holding Bandai back from really becoming better here, is that they're not cheap. I mean, even the master grade kits that you see at Hobby Lobby are pretty prohibitive for most kids. Like I've actually stood there and been looking at paints, and there's been a kid who's dead set on getting one of the master grades, right? He wants it. Mom's like, no, that's too expensive. It's $70. That's... I know that's not a lot for the amount of plastic you get in the box, but Mom ain't seeing that. But Mom also doesn't know what goes into the hobby either. And I still stand on, if you want the hobby to be embraced by this younger generation, you need to bring back the cheap $5, $6 starter range kits again. Like, there's no reason you should be paying $30 for a 60-year-old monogram P61 Black Widow. Those molds are long paid for. And it's really not that great a kit either. Back then it was, but nowadays it's garbage. The molds are shot. But even the 48 scale monogram P51, it can still be built up well. No, it doesn't have recessed panel lines and all that other funky shit, but it builds up well. But that's where I was getting at when the impetus on the exactness of the detail and the 100% correctness also forces people away. Because the kit's not... it's not accurate. Right? It looks like a P51 when it's built, and that's what most 10-year-olds really fucking care about. Or even teenagers. But when they read online reviews saying, oh, the kit's a piece of shit, and they stop there, but then they don't read on to see it has no fit issues, it's just molded from the, what, 60s now? When was the monogram P51D first tooled up? From what I remember, it's a pretty ancient kit. Let me Google.
At Leo2A7DK said, yeah, my start was painting to me a tank in the most peculiar camos, but my father was always encouraging me further. Look at this. It's how it's really painted. Oh.
1961, Jesus Christ. But it's really not a bad model for that age. You know, it still builds well. But that's the key that I really like. I know I've gotten into doing more photo etch on some of the Humvees I'm doing. But I also hope I make it clear that you can build the kit without it. You know, I'm not doing it because the kit requires it. I'm doing it because for this particular build I want it, right? And there's a difference between that and then someone saying, oh, that kit's shit because it needs all this added to it, when it really doesn't. It's adding that stuff that makes it fun sometimes. And considering the ICM factory just got bombed like last week, their Humvees are going to dry up pretty quick. So it's going to be back to the old Itillaries. I know I should have left the buttstock off, but that's okay. I'm managing. Not well, but I'm managing. So I think on this M4, I'm going to start out with the NATO black on it like I am. Then I'm going to smack it with some dry brushing just to start popping things out. And then go back in with some metallics, scrub them around a little bit on the receiver and probably on the Picatinny rails, the suppressor. The stock, the hand grip and the magazines are all polymer, so I don't have to worry about them. We'll just do them with gray to pop the details a little bit. But first, we gotta let all this crap dry. So we'll move on to the helmet. Am I doing better at staying within the camera this time? Yeah, when I first printed this, I was about to pop that out, thinking it was a support. Then I looked, I'm like, oh wait, that's actually the power feed. Never mind.
At Leo 2A7DK said no problems there.
But I think we'll keep Figure Friday a thing for a while. So at least I know I've got one day a week where I've got to work on a figure and get it finished. Oh, man. I also need to look for a G.I. Joe Cobra emblem, probably about 3 inches in diameter. An STL file for that. Because I want to make a better, more finished looking display base for the Baroness that I've got finished up than just a blank piece of wood. And this is the power supply for the nighttime optical devices.
Student 20 said it is nice having all the paints you need now that I have a comprehensive selection. It's a lot more fun.
Yeah, you sometimes spend more time looking for the right paint and not having it than anything. You're not wrong there. I'm gonna have to wait until either late November or early December to order the Bronco Humvee. Like I said earlier in the stream, I put a little more toward the real one yesterday than I was expecting, but it's not bad that I did that. I saw the opportunity, bills were paid, car was fueled up, you know, all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get ahead, and I did. So that means later on in the month, I'm still gonna be doing at least a certain amount per paycheck. Yeah, I'm gonna do a certain amount per paycheck. Baseline, but I had the opportunity to do triple what I normally put in, so I did. So I did a month's worth in one shot yesterday, which is good. We're still just laying in base colors. Let me see something here. I'm gonna go with this tan for this next bit. Let's get the black going real quick. So a little bit in there. But I've still got the larger post-apocalyptic Julie Strain inspired figure to finish up. The Mermaid, Cammy from Street Fighter, the Cyberpunk Wakeboarder, and Fulcra from Zenless Zone Zero. And this little one that I really have not made any progress on, and I'm still kind of stuck. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Oh. Yeah, there's at least 3 different versions of that Bronco kit I've seen. There's the standard 1114. There you go. So there's the basic 1114 with the man turret. There's an 1114 with the turret and the Duke system, which is the big bumper with the thing sticking off of it for setting off IEDs ahead of time. And then there's the 1114 with the crows on it. I need the one with the turret without the Duke system. And from what I've found, That's looking like $70 after shipping and tax. Because I found one at 40. I found a few of them. And Canadian shipping, my God, what's going on with that lately? Or I should say again, because it got bad before too.
At B Model Student 20 said, are those kits still in production?
The Bronco ones? I don't know.
At B Model Student 20 said, Canada is not well.
No place is well right now.
At B Model Student 20 said, true. At 213 said, oof, yeah. All shipping is killer.
Well, that's another reason, one, I'm printing more, and two, sticking to continental US type stuff. Most definitely within the States. There's the occasional free shipping item from Japan, you know, for certain figures and stuff, but I triple check the shipping on it and the price of the figure to make sure that they're not just selling something at a higher price to cover the shipping. But if all goes well, I should have my 16th scale M113 here sometime next week. I need that and that. Because these headset pieces are supposed to be they're supposed to be tan, not field drab. So. But the field drab's a good primer. And I need a larger brush. How you doing, Uther? You just get here? You've been lurking for a while?
Stream Elements said on the way to him was just $30 PogChamp.
Alex, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that.
Way to Hamburg tip $30. You decide which HMMWV it's going for.
Right now, that'll probably just sit in my account.
Student 20 said, I have noticed younger people have been showing more curiosity in models and model building lately.
I've noticed that too.
Ashu 13 said, not bad. Happy Halloween. Just lurking a bit.
Yep, happy Halloween. Yep, lurk away all you want. All I ask, if people do lurk, just say hi every once in a while, just to let the algorithm know, one, you're a real person, and two, it counts towards the view count. So it just keeps the numbers realistic.
At the Model Student 20 said, nice, awesome.
Thank you very much for that little donation. Ooh. But that's also why I try and keep my models, well, aside from the Humvees, I try and keep the models varied, or even within the same subject there's variation. Like, I'm not doing the same type of Humvee over and over again the exact same way. I'm doing different versions, different takes, different materials, you know? Yeah, no worries. You interact when you want to, I know that. So, that's just for anyone else out there who I know a lot of people like to lurk. And it's just helpful to them and me if they just say, hey, I'm here. You know? That way YouTube counts it. That's all that matters.
At Model Student 20 said there are so many different ones to do.
You're not joking. Like I said, I've got 5 built. Or is it 6? Be right back. Yeah, I've got 5 built with 4 in progress with no hard repeats. Like, it's not like I'm doing the 1114 with the turret and then the 1114 with the bumper. That's essentially the same model, just with a bumper stuck onto it. Each one of these is a literally different variant. I've got the 4-door soft top command one, the cargo one, the Avenger anti-missile system one, the prototype Bushmaster one. There's the prototype commando one, or the Desert Patrol one they call it. The tow variant. Did I do the tow variant? Yeah, I did the tow variant. I could still do the one with the 50 cal on top, even though it's technically the same type as the one with the tow. It is given a different classification. So it depends on how many times you want to split that hair, but you can look at every one on the shelf and know it's not just one with a different bumper or one with a different windshield. It's a radically different vehicle. All the patches she's got on her helmet and shit are going to be fun. Like, that's supposed to be the one-piece pirate skull. And this one's an American flag. Even though she's a Japanese soldier? I'm still trying to figure that out, too. Alright, let's start doing some multicam. I've never done multicam before, so this is going to be interesting. I still think I started out with too yellow of a base color, but I'm gonna live with it. I'll start here and we'll work from there. So I need RLM gray. I need this color. Yep. And this color. Okay. Is this a 5-color camo? It is. Okay, RLM2. Right now, it is the Badger Velocity. This was sent to me by Solway Studios. He's on Twitch as well. I don't know if he's on right now or if he's not going to be on till tomorrow. Before that, it was a Badger 150. I still have that one, so if I can get it just rebuilt. Why is that? I love Badgers. I've done some amazing work with Badgers. And then, in case of emergencies, where did I put it? I have like a knockoff $20 version of the Badger Velocity that came with my compressor that I can hook up. They've all got quick disconnect on them.
Online Davos said lost the second Badger today.
Oh, what happened? I know Badgers have a name for reliability. I've put them to the test in some pretty shitty circumstances. So that's why I stick with them. Other people have their opinions. And they are welcome to them. But at the same time, I like my Badgers because my Badgers like me. Okay, so there's that. I need RLM2, and then I need to make up a almost white sand color. So, sorry people, being scatterbrained for a minute again while I figure this crap out. There's the RLM. Okay. Put it this way, and this is putting it mildly and lightly. I would rather use a dirty Badger than a brand new Pache.
Online Davos said lost my dirty Badger. Hawkmoth 1966 said hey busy.
Hey Hawkmoth, how have you been?
Things are well with you.
Yeah, we're still here. I know you've been going through some stuff, so glad to see you're still kicking.
Hawkmoth 1966 said yeah, still here.
I hope whatever was ailing you before is either stopped or gotten taken care of a little bit. I know you're dealing with some stuff before. So yeah, I've got... These are the only colors I can think of. Just the base color isn't great enough on me. I don't have anything that light sand-wise, though. It's almost like buff. I almost need buff. That's dark yellow. And I am out of buff. Let me see. Is this the color that I used, or did I use a different one? I know what I might be able to do. New paper towel. Scruffy brush. Because that looks lighter. That's good. At least you're still here. That's what matters. No, that's the same base color. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Because I just need to light it or gray it down by like 25%. Obviously I'm not going for perfect, but this actually looks pretty damn close now. And there's still a lot more detail stuff to paint on there. So we're going to go a little bit of Vallejo white. And a lot of bit of Tamiya, what is this? Wooden deck tan. Gonna mix them up. That looks a bit better. But instead of trying to repaint the whole thing, we're gonna kind of use this to our advantage. Because the camo pattern is gonna do some work for us. Yeah, I think I've changed jobs since the last time I saw you. Or put it this way, that's a name I've not heard in a long time. Yeah, for those who haven't been here very long, Hawkmoth is one of the original OG followers on Twitch. I'd have to say my second longest supporter outside of Aries Studios. That's better. I like that more. Well, Hawkmoth, I don't know if you know, we're dual streaming now, so we're also on YouTube as well as Twitch. Was on Kick, but they decided to do something that I don't agree with, so I'm not using them. Oh no. So it got rebrazed wrong? Have you contacted Badger's customer service to see if they could recondition it? Yep, any help either way you can do is greatly appreciated, Hawkmoth. We're still not monetized on YouTube yet, unfortunately, but I'd like to get there. We're just about to bust 625 subs. 624, I think. So we're that close there. Now, I can't validate it, but I've heard that once you pass 1,000, there's like this weird exponential effect that happens that you just start getting more people if you're on regular. The main threshold I have to cross in order to get monetized on YouTube is I need either 3 million shorts views or 3,000 hours watched across the board. That's where I am. But I have noticed I've been getting pretty regular subscribers on there, so I must be hitting the algorithm right most of the time. Well, there you go. Because if I post a short that does well, I get, I don't know, 3-4 subs a short. Well, that's the good thing about YouTube, is they don't delete the VOD after a few months. So it would help more on YouTube than it would on Twitch. Twitch deletes the VOD so it doesn't count anymore after that. But YouTube doesn't. I've got all my VODs on YouTube since I started streaming on YouTube and Twitch together. Well, once you've watched it once, it doesn't count again, Model Student. Hey, Flight Sim. Yeah, they've got that little part of the... Okay, I'm not done with this color yet. They got that little part of the system figured out. You can't just sit there and refresh to get the views anymore. Nice. Now, the only thing I'm doing on the Bushmaster is it's getting that leftover rear tailgate plate from the Academy kit, because it did have AM General on it. And it's getting the resin wheels from Panzer Art. Other than that, the Bushmaster one, when I make it, will be 95% out of the box. It's been a while then, because Kane was summer 23. Yeah, I really need to get back and finish that. It's like 85% complete. I need to knock out the camo netting around it, then we can get into the dirt and stuff. I'm sorry I haven't finished that one yet. I knew you were going to go with those H2 wheels. Don't worry about that one guy said. Like I said, whatever makes you happy. It sounded like you were doing a what if anyway. With that one guy, he just seemed really adamant that you use those correct Humvee wheels, no matter what, or else the gods will smite your model. Okay, I'm going to start out with the RLM gray on this. And we're probably going to go a little over the usual time. Well, didn't I tell you that when you were looking at them? Like, yeah, they're not the right ones, but it's your model. You do it your way. This is a fan art of... What's her name, anyway? It's from the series Gate. Kurabayashi. She's part of the JGSDF from Gate. But how have I always put it when I go to do my models and get into stuff like that with them? I'm doing it because I want to, not because I have to. And there's a lot of people out there that think you've got to do certain things because you have to. Because you have to be contest ready at all times and accurate. You can't just build something for the fun of it. No worries, Uther. This is drying a little darker, but it's meeting... No, it's okay. It's okay. I'll just keep telling myself that. It's okay. It's okay. Ooh, F-35. They've been quiet today. They might be doing some night training. Oh, I know most of us here agree it should be fun. And sometimes the accurizing can be fun. Like, when you saw me adding this stuff to the Stinger version the other day. At any time was I worried about ultimate accuracy or perfection? Or was I more like, alright, this is cool. I like what this is doing. You know? Yeah, RLM2 is the closest color I've got to a sage green, which is what you'd need to do this pattern properly. I've got a reference image up so I can't even see what's in camera. Okay, yeah, most of it's in camera. I still have to finish printing the parts for the Mecha Bunny Girl in red resin. Well, even I would look at that with a certain amount of, huh? But your build, your way to go. Like if it's an Ace Combat 7 kind of thing, sure, fly it how you want it. Kind of like how Model Student wanted to do his F-18 in sports team colors. He decided to change his mind. Nobody told him to. He just decided on his own. Good. No. But yeah, this is a 5-color camouflage, so I'm really trying to not overdo most of these colors. This one and this one are the two other primaries besides the base tan. And then there's small dots of the darker chocolate brown and the really, really, really light sand. They actually repainted an F-16C in that paint scheme for the, I think it was 40th anniversary of the airframe. Yeah, once the F-16 started getting phased out, bases everywhere just started painting up some of their best jets in some crazy camouflage. 778 is a Gulf War vet airframe that got it got a MiG kill with 3 distinctions behind the 1 kill. And it's still flying out at Luke Air Force Base, but right now it's actually wearing a experimental desert camouflage that was supposed to be for the Gulf War, but they never implemented it. So it's a USD model with an air-to-air kill with an AIM-120 at beyond visual range. And you notice how for this camouflage, I am just, you know, kind of letting my tremors take over. No, I'm just letting the brush kind of stipple wherever. Trying to keep it random. And that's how it should be. But anyone who's been on model forums, you know, in the past 20 years knows that there's always that one guy out there that no matter how proud of a build you are, and no matter how you preface it, will still come out and say, "It looks like shit, it shouldn't be painted that way, it should have this weapon because it didn't carry those weapons in that time with those markings." Nyeh. The only time I get like that is if somebody asks me a specific question. You know, if they want something more specific about the airframe, then I'll give them that. But if they're just like, "Hey, here's my plane. This is the best I could do." Cool. Keep going. No worries. It's sad that IPMS has become inundated with that mentality, especially considering that the president of IPMS of the past year is not like that at all. And what's really funny is nowhere in the judging criteria of the IPMS does it say accuracy is a reason for disqualification in a contest. Yet we all know that there's one stickler dickhead judge with a pen light that almost always tries to cancel a model out of contention because of accuracy. Every category, no matter if it's super detailed or not, is judged based on the same criteria. Gonna move a little bit. Ow. And those criteria are what? Fit, finish, and basically the overall presentation of the model. You know, is it put together right? Is everything lined up? Painted right? Decals on good? All that stuff. And nowhere does it mention you have to have every rivet in the right place. Or this or that. You know? I've judged a few contests myself, and in no contest ever has accuracy been on the docket for judging. So if you wanted to enter that pink and black F-18 into a contest, box stock category, let's say, you could. As long as your paint's on there well, your decals are on there right, and everything's built well, it has to be judged amongst its peers by the same standards, regardless. And I actually had to pull a judge back once who was trying to do that in somebody's model. I think it was a Japanese tank. He's one of those I know everything about this one thing kind of person. And he was getting really hoity-toity over the accuracy on a Japanese tank. And I had to say, look, accuracy is not a criteria. So I'm going to put this... I put it down for second just because there were some little things that I felt were off, but nothing exclusionary. Just something about it didn't put it up as high as the one that did get first in that category. I just wanted to use the last of the RLM2 on the helmet just to get it looking a little, you know, try and get some contrast in there. We'll throw a wash on that too later. I want to get this camo done. Arthritis is fun. No, it's not. Are you talking the 48 scale ones? There's the Revell monogram one. And then there's a company that came out with one a few years back. I think it was like Skunk Model or something like that. They're no longer in production, but they're not exactly rare. I've always kind of wanted to do one. If it's the Revell kit, it's not, it hasn't been made in a while, but it's not exactly rare, you know. It's not $100 rare. How's that? But then again, I've seen people on eBay trying to sell the Tamiya Bushmaster Humvee for $200. And I'm just sitting there thinking, what amount of crack are you smoking, buddy? It's like, yeah, it's half a Tamiya kit, but it ain't exactly rare. Oh, I know. I had to go through the same shit when I was looking for mine. But there, that one for 38's still up there, I think. Whoever was looking for that in your channel. And I didn't do any of the splotching on her waistband. Great, I'm gonna have to go back and restart that. So the colors I'm using aren't exactly what's on the OCP style camo. But I think when I'm done, especially after I've given it a bit of a dry brushing, pop out the corners, it'll all kind of blend together a bit better and look more like it's supposed to. I mean, these do look like blue jeans, right? You wouldn't mistake them for anything else. Wah! You can send them in the ambulance. Watch out they don't get run over by any stray Humvee wheels. What really makes me laugh when people do that, though, is they're doing this on a video that you've already edited and rendered and published. So by the time they're making the comment about which wheels are correct or not, one, you probably already know, and two, you've already made up your mind which one you're using. Well, you know, like the old Monty Python song used to say, sit on my face and tell me that you love me. Oh, wait. Alright, no worries, Hawkmoth. You know you're always welcome here. Let me get the RLM gray back out, do the belt. When I do camo like this, I do like to work in a certain order of the colors. More prominent to least prominent. That's alright, model student. You can do that. You're gonna copyright strike me for a song that's older than I am. That's fine. I don't even know if I was on key enough. Ah! I know, I saw, you're going to get dinner. Okay. Okay. I get it. Go eat. So the render for this figure, I want to show you something on her jeans as soon as I get done putting this color on. I think these are glow sticks, but I could be wrong. They look like glow sticks to me on a carabiner clip. But the render for it only has them as, like, white. Let's see. But if they are glow sticks, I'll paint them white, but then I'll probably throw in a mix of, like, the green, the yellow, and the blue, just to pick out different color glow sticks, but make it like a frosted, milky looking consistency as far as like frosted blue, frosted green. But I think that's what these are. These are glow sticks. They look like it. So. I don't know what else they could be. And it's something you see on every operator's belt or kit that, you know, they spell operate with an 8. The only thing she's missing is Oakley's. Well, I get the reason for the glow sticks, because you can crack it and throw it into an area, and even if the glow stick like isn't illuminating it to the naked eye, it's bright enough that it's like having the sun on with your night vision on. So you can crack it, throw it real quick before it really gets up to full intensity, and not give your position away as much as if you'd say turn on a flashlight or something. So it makes sense. That's why they used to call them starlight scopes, because they don't need a lot of light, but they do need something. Ow. Give me classic 84 Schwarzenegger gargoyles. Actually, see if I can get the ones I used to have. I can get safety glasses. Yeah, I'd love to get a set of the classic gargoyles again. You gotta wear the right things when you're driving around in a Humvee, you know? Okay, I need this color again. No, it's just an exaggeration, and we didn't use the red, the Germans did. I think the Russians did, too. But the key about night vision, really, is you just need something to illuminate the way it works. You don't even need visible spectrum light. That's why a lot of times you'll see guys with like UV filters and stuff on their lights. Or they'll just have a UV light instead. And we're not talking like a black light, we're talking like a literal invisible to the human eye spectrum UV light. But it will be visible to the night vision. I wouldn't doubt there's some guys from Vietnam that thought they saw some shit. Don't get me wrong. Because they did see some shit over there. But when you're up late looking through a scope that, you know, is grainy as fuck, yeah, you might think you saw something. Especially if you're on whatever the government's favorite stimulant of the week was at the time. Now the dark chocolate brown and the other color, the white sand, are essentially just spots. So I'm going to need that, and that again. Yeah. We're just needing really tiny dots and dashes of this color. So are you guys seeing this okay? Is that not too far from the camera for you? Do I need to move the camera closer? But if anybody else is out there and you can't see well enough, chime in and I'll do what I can to either get the camera closer or something. So like I was saying before, I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow. If I'm not... Yeah, let's see what I can do about that real quick. If I'm not on tomorrow, I'll be on Friday. Friday next week. How's that? We're working on kind of a grayed out desert scheme anyway. Yeah, but the blue jeans actually look like they do on my desk, so yeah, adjusting that just made it better. The trick to these smaller dots is you got to keep that brush clean and wet, because as soon as it starts to clog up the tip, it starts putting down larger splotches. Trying to think of what scary movie to watch tonight. Maybe E.T. Come on, autofocus. Yeah, there we go. I like Sam Neill. I'm not a big... God, who the fuck originally wrote that? And I've never really been a big, like, Cthulhu or that kind of fan. I use a very old, I think it's a CX20 or something like that. I forget. Let me look real quick. Properties. C920, sorry. Probably wouldn't hurt for me to upgrade to a new one, but the last time I put a new camera on, it didn't work right, so I don't know if I got shipped a dud or what, because Aries uses the same one and he doesn't have any troubles with it. So I'm thinking I got shipped one that got dropped. No worries. There's Major Havoc. Now, I'm probably going to mix up some oil washes for this, because there's just a lot of fine detail that really needs to be popped out. And I don't think the acrylic washes are going to do it any justice. Because she's got like trauma scissors, magazines, a knife, some other kind of thing with a stylus here, some kind of GPS transceiver, radio transceiver boxes, all kinds of stuff. But here's where we're at so far. Ow. Yeah, they look like Magpuls. I was thinking the same thing. I'd have to go dig it out, but I still have my plate carrier from when I was doing airsoft. It's like a legit Bundeswehr plate carrier. I just don't have plates for it. That's good. Sometimes with the Badgers, you just gotta clean those seals inside really well. They get gummed up real easy. And hone your needle to make sure that even the slightest bend isn't at like the tip of it. But Badgers tend to be really forgiving when it comes to stuff like that. I should really see about getting my 150 refurbished, but I'm afraid it's going to become like a grandpa's axe kind of situation. Because the airbrush as it stands has extremely significant sentimental value to me. And it would suck if it was deemed to be bad enough that for their warranty they just replaced it. I don't know. I'll write something up maybe one of these days, if I see a need to, because I could get some amazingly fine lines with that one that I'm still trying to get used to this one. The velocity. Like, I can get some good lines out of it. But I was getting stuff out of that 150 at its worst that still looked like a machine factory applied camo scheme. And I can show you an example of that here in a minute, because we're going to start winding down. No, mine is not Coyote. It's an actual Flecktarn plate carrier with pouches for MP7 mags and G36 mags. And the Camelback. I hate to say it, but I hate that Coyote color. Let's take that off so it doesn't fall off and damage itself. Yeah, these smaller dots on this camo remind me almost of the chocolate chip on the Desert Storm uniforms. And it didn't work until it got dusty enough because it was too strong of a brown. It was too caramel. Especially here in Utah, that's the one thing I'd look for first is, oh hey, there's a patch of caramel color bobbing through the bushes at us. Looks like a leg holster. Shoot at it. Now, like I said, I have to mix up an almost white sand color. Like, this is the lightened sand color I made to redo the vest with. I need something that's that, but even lighter. That works. Okay, now how much of this is there on this pattern? Because as the colors get, as the dots get smaller, the color gets more infrequent. It's about equal with the brown. Okay. And I'm probably going to stop my stream for a little bit, just so I can get some lunch and stuff. But I'm really thinking we might do like a Halloween night stream. I don't know. What do y'all think? It's Friday night. Yeah, NATO standards are the real pain in the butt. I know you're gonna say my channel, do what I want. I want to know if I'm gonna have an audience, that's the thing. Because the wife's getting out of the house to go visit a friend who does a big Halloween thing at her house every year because she runs a daycare. So she gets like free homemade chili, stuff like that. My son's going with her because he's going to visit from college. Which is going to leave me here all on my lonesome. Okay, that almost looks legit. Now that everything's together and sitting on one thing, it's a bit lighter or darker in color, but it looks good, I think. As good as I can get for hand painting. And this is my first time hand painting this pattern. Maybe I should do a Halloween Humvee stream. Work on the ambulance one some more. I don't know. You tell me what you want to see. Or I could try getting up from where I kept getting killed at in Alien Isolation. I don't know if I can stream without Xbox Live, though. I've turned that off, too. Its price hike is just way too much. I made sure to buy Stalker 2 before I canceled it, though, so that way I knew I was getting it for the cheaper rate. Now, this probably won't be till like 8 o'clock for start time. So you're looking at like 4 hours from now. I've already been on for 4 hours, so I need to take a break and get something to eat anyway. Getting hungry. Just keep an eye out. If I'm able to get on, I'll be on. If not, I'll see you either tomorrow evening or not tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow evening. Sunday, either evening or very early morning. I gotta get with the wife on when she wants to head out to this thing. No worries. No, it's one of those weird nights, but most years I'm able to do a stream on Halloween. We'll figure it out. So, but if I'm not on Sunday, I will be on next Friday. And I'll make an attempt to be on during the week too. It's going to be a lot like this week, so there's a good chance I can be on. Especially tomorrow. If time-wise, if what we've got to do is going to be right in the middle of the day, I'm probably going to try and stream Saturday afternoon, evening. So if I'm not back on tonight, there's my windows of opportunity. Yeah, now that the dark chocolate and the white dots are on there, this is looking pretty damn good. Yeah, I'm pretty much going to be suspending because it hasn't shipped yet. It probably won't ship until Monday, to be honest. The engine kit. At least it hasn't flagged as shipped. They don't always flag as that. Purchases. It's supposed to be here by the 4th through the 10th. The tires for the Bushmaster will be here the 6th. So everything's lining up Humvee-wise. Oh yeah, I've got some thin lines out of mine too. But my 150, I could get hair thin lines out of that. I don't know how I did it. But that thing was just... It was literally a warhorse, you know? But I want to finish up this multicam, OCP, whatever you want to call it. And we'll call stream for then. It'll give all this paint time to dry too. If I'm back on, we'll probably work on her some more, to be honest. Get more of the details plucked out, highlighted. Yeah, once you get an airbrush right where you want it, everything else is simple after that. Most people would be like, why wasn't I airbrushing long ago? Alright. So, yeah, we're gonna shut down for a bit at least. I'm gonna get some food. And then we'll come back to this, I guess. So thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Alex, for the donation. If I am back on, it'll probably be in about 4 hours, so 8 p.m. my time. If you're able to join, cool. If not, I understand. You live halfway around the world. You're watching your door, but we'll be back. Okay. Okay, really struggled starting airbrushing. Alright, yeah, but I'll see you all later. Like I said, if I come back on, we'll probably work on her some more. I like where it's going. It's coming out basically how I'm envisioning. We'll see where it goes.